Hello and good evening. Welcome to another live stream. It is a college basketball live stream tonight. Santa Clara and Xavier. Both these teams enter at 2-0. We will preview this game momentarily. First of all, let's start off with a prayer. Lord Jesus, thank you for this day. Thank you for everything you do, Lord. And please look over all these players and fans alike, Lord. Please keep everyone safe and do your will among all of us, Lord, as we ask this in your name. Amen. Santa Clara and Xavier, both teams enter at 2-0. Xavier's had a couple close calls, but they are 2-0, as is Santa Clara out of the West Coast Conference. Richard Pitino, in his first year as Xavier head coach, Herb Sendek, the head coach of the Santa Clara Broncos, who are looking to make some noise in the West Coast Conference this year. A West Coast Conference that, of course, over the last few years, several years, has been dominated by Gonzaga. St. Mary's has been in there in the mix as well in the West Coast Conference. As we take a look at the lineups, it's going to be Mahi, Oboye, Napper, Hammond, and Emsinger for Santa Clara. Cannon, Carroll, and Robinson up front for Xavier, with Anderson III and Messina Moore in the backcourt for Xavier. As we are just about set to go in this one. Winner goes to 3-0 on the season. On a Monday night from chilly Cincinnati, Ohio. Students out in full force tonight. Tony Chiazza, Matt Potter, and Nathan Hall, the officiating crew tonight, tip controlled by the Musketeers. Xavier with the game's first possession. Xavier working it around on this opening possession and the pass underneath. And this shot clock down to 6, and a three-pointer rims off, and the rebound pulled down by Santa Clara, and back they come with their first possession. Drive inside. This is Napper. Napper, nice pass underneath. Too hard on the shot. And a foul is called, and we will have our first two free throws of the game. They foul on Xavier. Two free throws for Santa Clara as Christian Hammond heads to the line. First is good, and Santa Clara with the first point of the game. Two for two at the line, and it's a 2-0 lead for the Broncos, nearly a minute in. Up the floor come the Musketeers. This is Anderson III with it, and that ball knocked out of bounds. It will stay Xavier ball. This is Anderson III with it. Cannon now. Back outside. Xavier working it around the perimeter. Shot clock down to 5. Xavier's going to have to put something up here, and an off-balance shot is good by Cannon, the senior out of Serbia, ties this game 2-2 as Xavier has the game's first field goal. Ensminger with it for Xavier, or for Santa Clara, rather. And a nice pass underneath from Hammond and a dunk underneath for Oboye. And Santa Clara leads at 4-2. Robinson bringing it, that is Messina Moore bringing it up the floor for Xavier. And a drive inside and a block shot underneath by Santa Clara, and back come the Broncos the other way. Oboye with it now. And pass underneath. Nice pass again, and another layup underneath. And the Broncos off to a quick 6-2 lead. Mahi with that layup for Santa Clara. And we have a foul. First foul of the game on the Broncos. This is going to be on Ensminger. That'll be his first. Xavier to inbound. And into the backcourt it comes. Outside, a three-pointer in the corner, no good. Rebound Santa Clara. Hammond with it, and he is stripped, and it's stolen. Xavier gets the turnover. Messina Moore with it out on the perimeter, passes it over to Carroll. Carroll driving inside. Carroll with the right-hand hook. That's going to be a goaltend. And count the basket for Trey Carroll, and it's a 6-4 ball game. And it comes to Santa Clara. Napper bringing it up the floor. Brenton Napper driving off the glass. That's a little too strong. Napper gets his own rebound. Passes it to a wide open Hammond for three in the corner, and it's good. Christian Hammond with 5. 9-4 lead for Santa Clara. 3.5 minutes into this one. Carroll with it for Xavier. Xavier working around the perimeter, trying to drive inside, and another block for Santa Clara. And that one knocked out of bounds by Xavier. It will stay Santa Clara ball. Broncos have hit 3 of their first 4 from the floor. Santa Clara inbounds. Working it around, 16-minute mark first half. Broncos working around the perimeter again. And the layup off the glass, no. And Xavier will pull down the rebound. Borovikainen with the rebound for Xavier. Borovikainen with it now. Passes back outside. And back out on the perimeter. Now a drive inside. Wild shot. No good. That was not a good shot. Santa Clara's defense has been good early on. That's a wild shot at the other end. And back comes Xavier. And the layup is good. Roddy Anderson III with the layup for Xavier, making it a 9-6 lead for the Broncos. Have our under 16 timeout at the next whistle. Jumper in the paint. The floater is good for Christian Hammond. He's got 7 early on for Santa Clara, who leads 11-6. Driving at the other end, knocked away, and the Broncos with another steal. Outside, and now the move back inside, and Santa Clara with the runner. That's going to go down. That's Christian Hammond again with 9, as he is 3 for 3 from the floor. 13-6 lead for the Broncos. Quick start for Santa Clara in this one. Messina Moore with it outside. Messina Moore bounce pass underneath for an easy layup. Great feed from Malik Messina Moore underneath to Trey Carroll, who has 4 now, and it's 13-8. And now a double team at the other end. Xavier picking up the pressure defense here. Outside, it goes to Hammond, who's got the hot hand right now for the Broncos. He'll try a three-pointer. That's a little too strong. Rebound to Xavier. Messina Moore pulls down the board. Messina Moore with it now for Xavier and throws it out of bounds. First time out at the 13:32 mark in the first half. Quick start for the Santa Clara Broncos out of the West Coast Conference, leading 13-8. Santa Clara at 2-0, coming off wins to begin the season against Humboldt State and McNeese. Xavier is also 2-0, but they have had 2 very close calls in their first 2 games, eking out narrow wins over Marist and Lemoyne in their first 2 games. Just finding a way to pull those games out. So the winner will start off the season at 3-0. There's 3 ranked teams in the top 25 tonight in action. One that just concluded before this game, number 3, Connecticut. They moved to 3-0 with an 89-62 win over Columbia. In progress now in the first half, number 16, Iowa State and Mississippi State. Iowa State leads 34-27. That game being played in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And coming up later, number 15, UCLA in action against West Georgia. Those are the 3 ranked teams in action. And in the new AP poll dropped today, and Houston overtakes Purdue at number 1. Purdue had I don't want to say a struggle in their last game because their outcome was never in doubt, but the Oakland Golden Grizzlies came into West Lafayette and played Purdue very tough, while Houston has not really been challenged yet. That possibly may have come into play as to why Purdue dropped to 2 this week. But in this one, a quick start for the Santa Clara Broncos out of the West Coast Conference. They lead 13-8 over Xavier. 5 for 9 shooting start for Santa Clara, 4 for 9 for Xavier. But Christian Hammond, the early hot hand in this one for Santa Clara, he's got 9 of the Broncos' 13 points early on in this one. Couple points apiece for Elijah Mahe and Bucky Oboye. For Xavier, Trey Carroll has 4 points. Philippe Barovikainen and Roddy Anderson III, couple points apiece. Following the under-16 timeout, Santa Clara will inbound. Slight press shown by Xavier, but quickly back it off. Here comes a three-point shot on the way. That's a brick off the back rim. Offensive rebound, and I think they're going to count that basket. Yes, they do, and a foul on Xavier. And one opportunity. Alan Graves checked in at the timeout, gets the and one basket for the Broncos. And missed the free throw. So the lead stays 15-8 for Santa Clara. 13-minute mark, first half. Bounce pass inside. There's a turnaround in the paint. Too strong. Rebound to the Broncos. Thierry Darlin with it now. Passes outside. Over to Gavalugov. And here's another three-pointer. That's too strong. Rebound to Santa Clara on the offensive rebound. And now on the floor, and it's going to be a tie-up. Possession arrow will keep it with the Broncos. On the inbound, Broncos with it. Right hand hook inside off the back rim. No on the shot by Mahi. And the rebound pulled down by Xavier. Quick pace here early on. And a foul outside. This is going to go against the Broncos. Foul's whistled against Allen Graves. That'll be his first. Team second. Xavier to inbound. All right with it. Transfer from Valparaiso. Outside, here's a three-point shot. That's an air ball from Isaiah Walker, and it'll go out of bounds back to the Broncos. Roddy Anderson, the third, checks back in for Xavier, but we have reached the under 12 timeout. 15-8, Santa Clara leading Xavier on a Monday night in Cincinnati. 11:57 remaining in the opening half of play. So shooting cooled off a little bit in that 4-minute sequence. Actually ended up about a minute and a half sequence. 46% shooting for Santa Clara, 36% for Xavier. Taking a look at some college basketball scores involving teams from these two conferences. Other West Coast Conference teams in action. Washington State will be at home later tonight against St. Thomas of Minnesota. The only other West Coast Conference team in action today. Other Big East action, already told you, number 3, Connecticut with an 89-62 win over Columbia. Seton Hall in action, they lead Fairfield 67-51 in the second half. Next games coming up for these two teams. Following this one, Santa Clara will be at home on Saturday against the Nevada Wolfpack. Mountain West team coming in. Xavier coming up on Friday has to make the trip to Iowa. That will be Xavier's first road game of the season. Tough one there in Iowa City against the Iowa Hawkeyes. They trail here 15-8. And what is basically a brand new roster for this Xavier team from last season. 12 new players on this Xavier team under first-year head coach Richard Pitino. So it's been a little bit of work in progress here with this basically brand new team. They have had a couple struggles their first couple games. Were able to pull those games out. So the Broncos bound out of the timeout. Broncos bring it in and will bring it across the midcourt stripe. This is Napper with it. Bounce pass, and that's taken away from behind and stripped and stolen. Second turnover for Santa Clara. On the drive at the other end, shot rejected. That's the third block of this first half for Santa Clara. And Xavier will keep possession. Roddy Anderson inbounds for Xavier. Gets it to Allright. Back out on the perimeter. 10 to shoot. Wright bounces inside. Turn around and a foul on the way up. And 2 free throws coming for Xavier. Two free throws coming for Anthony Robinson, sophomore out of Atlanta. First free throw up and good. One more coming, and it's good. 15-10, the Santa Clara lead with 11:22 remaining in the first half. And pressure shown by Xavier, and it almost created a turnover. Went with a full court pressure defense that time, and almost got Santa Clara to commit a turnover. Now backing off the press this time as Santa Clara brings it up. And a foul called on the Musketeers. Third foul on Xavier here in the first half. Allright picks up his first. I got a personal up and close look at the kind of player Allright is last year in the Missouri Valley Conference tournament in St. Louis when he was playing for Valparaiso, and this is a heck of a player that Xavier got in the portal. Left-hand hook is too strong, and the rebound pulled down by the Musketeers. A near turnover, but they do keep possession alive, and the floater inside is no good. Rebound to Brenton Napper for Santa Clara. 10.5 to go, first half. Bounce back. This is Ensminger underneath the basket. Shot clock down to 8. And underneath, and the bucket. Buki Oboye with the basket underneath, and it's 17-10 for the Broncos. At the other end, Xavier. Reverse layup is up and good. Answer there for Xavier for Roddy Anderson III, 17-12. Second field goal for Anderson. Another near turnover. Napper with it. Brenton Napper goes inside, spins, left hand, no. Rebound Xavier. And up ahead of the floor, and the layup is good. Back-to-back buckets for Xavier. That's Isaiah Walker with the basket. And it's a 3-point lead now for Santa Clara, 17-14. At the other end, wide open three is good. Well, they left Elijah Mahe wide open out there, and Mahe made Xavier pay by drilling a three-pointer. 20-14 now, the lead for the Broncos. 9-minute mark, first half. The drive inside is no good. Out of bounds off of Napper. It will stay with Xavier. Xavier to inbound, 20 on the shot clock. Get it in. Outside with it right now is Anderson. And a timeout called from the sideline by Richard Pitino and Xavier. With 8:50 remaining in the first half of play, and the Musketeers trailing by a half dozen, 20-14. Richard Pitino is not a happy camper over there on the Xavier sideline. So following the Xavier timeout, they will have 13 seconds on the shot clock. So here we go on the inbound. Anderson with it. Anderson looking over to Borova-Cannon. And Xavier turns it over. So a turnover against the Musketeers is their third, and Santa Clara will get it back. Broncos inbound. Try to inbound anyway, and they finally do get it in. This is Hammond with it on the outside. 10 to shoot. A double team out near midcourt. And it's going to be a backcourt violation, I think. Yeah, I was going to say, I thought the pass was caught in the backcourt by Mahi, and they do call the backcourt violation against Santa Clara. That possession was going nowhere. Xavier to inbound. Anderson bringing it up across midcourt. Anthony Robinson with it now on the perimeter. They're going to have to put something up. Shot clock expiring, and that barely hit the rim by Borova-Cannon. So a wasted possession that time for Xavier. Back comes Santa Clara at the other end. And Santa Clara will slow it down a little bit. And the runner off the glass too hard. Offensive rebound pulled down and a foul as Alan Graves crashing the offensive rebound for Santa Clara, and 2 free throws coming up. Following the under 8 timeout with 7:31 to go first half. Santa Clara has led virtually the whole way. They lead it by 6 now, 20-14, and there will be free throws on the other side of the timeout. So Santa Clara wanting to try to threaten Gonzaga and St. Mary's in the West Coast Conference this season. West Coast Conference did pick up a team this year, Seattle University, the Redhawks, moving over from the WAC. Making it a 12-team West Coast Conference, at least for this year. Go back to 10 teams next year when Oregon State and Washington State return to the Pac-12 after the Pac-12's 2-year hiatus. A brand new look Pac-12 next year. Santa Clara 8 of 18 shooting in this first half for 44%. They are 2 for 5 from 3 at 40%. Xavier just 6 of 17 shooting the basketball in the first half for 35%. 0 for 3 from three-point range. Rebound edge for Santa Clara over Xavier, 13-9. Both teams have turned it over 3 times. Christian Hammond still leading the way, leading scorer for Santa Clara with 9 points in this first half. Xavier's leading scorer in the first half, couple guys with 4 points, Trey Carroll and Roddy Anderson. And we will have 2 free throws coming up for Santa Clara once play resumes out of the timeout. Richard Pitino is showing him in between timeouts, and he is really harping to his Xavier Musketeers team. That is not a happy Richard Pitino on the sideline for Xavier right now, as his team trails 20-14. This is Xavier team, as I mentioned in the outset, has had a couple close calls this year. 2 close wins at home over Mercer and Lemoyne. Win by 4 over Mercer, a win by 5 over Lemoyne. Messina Moore has been the leading scorer in both of those games for Xavier. He hasn't even attempted a shot so far here in the first half. So 2 free throws here for Santa Clara out of the timeout. The first one up and good. Alan Graves with 3 points. And make it 4 as he hits both free throws. And the Broncos' lead is up to 8. Largest lead of the first half right now for Santa Clara at 22-14. Barova Cannon with it for Xavier. Side it goes to Messina Moore. And now on the drive, the give-off and a foul as Trey Carroll tried to drive inside. If they got Graves, which they did, that's his second. So Graves will probably have to go to the bench here for the rest of the first half. Yeah, he definitely got the body in on Trey Carroll. So 2 fouls on Graves will send Trey Carroll to the line with 4 points and make it 5 as he rattles in the first free throw. Uki Oboye returns to the Santa Clara lineup. 2 for 2 at the line for Trey Carroll. That gives him a half dozen. Leading scorer right now for Xavier, and it's 22-16, the Santa Clara lead. Broncos inbound. KJ Cochran with the ball. Now bringing it up the floor is Gavalugov. Hope I got that pronunciation right. Shot clock running down. Here's down to 10 for Santa Clara. Thierry Darlin will put it up off the glass. No. And the rebound to Xavier and then knocked out of bounds by Santa Clara. And Xavier will have the ball with 6:48 to go in the first half. And a foul on the inbound against Santa Clara, looks like. So now the inbound completed. 5 team fouls on Santa Clara, 4 on Xavier. And there's another turnover. Great anticipation stepping into the passing lane, but missing the layup was Ensminger. Ensminger got the steal, but missed the layup. We have a foul on Xavier on the rebound attempt. Two free throws coming for Ensminger. First is good. Malik Messina Moore just picked up his second foul for Xavier on that loose ball foul on the rebound attempt. So he has two for Xavier. Allen Graves with two fouls for Santa Clara. One more coming for Ensminger, and he hits them both, and the lead back to 8 again at 24-16. Anderson bringing it up the floor for the Musketeers. Bounce pass inside. That's another turnover against Xavier. Back comes Santa Clara. Cochran rejected from behind by Borova-Kanan. It will stay Santa Clara ball. Inbound and a near steal. It will stay Santa Clara ball. Ensminger to inbound. Gavrilyov has it taken away. Xavier with the steal. And on the drive, reverse layup is good. Anthony Robinson with the reverse, and it's 24-18. But underneath, an easy layup at the other end for Oboye. Nobody got underneath on him, and Oboye had an easy layup underneath for the Broncos. And another Xavier turnover as the pass went right through the legs of Trey Carroll. Xavier turnover is number 6 of the first half. Broncos look for a double-digit lead this trip. Pass in the corner. On the drive, outside it goes. And a three-pointer is passed up. Shot clock running down to 7. Driving inside is Cochran. And we have got a foul underneath the basket. Shot clock was down to 4 seconds. Team foul number 6 on Xavier. Didn't see who they got that foul on. Oh, it's on All Right, who had just checked back in. That's his second foul. So the Broncos inbound with 5 to go, first half. And the turnaround on the right hand is good. Off the glass, and the lead is up to 10 for Santa Clara, 28-18. Elijah Mahe now with 7 points after that layup. Very, very game Santa Clara team. They have come to play tonight. And in trouble, and now Xavier's going to have to take a timeout to save possession. Borova-Kanan got himself in a little bit of a pickle there, and Santa Clara brought a double team, and Xavier has to take a timeout. Their second timeout used in the first half. Well, Herb Sendek has to like what he's seen right now from his Santa Clara Broncos. Following the timeout, Xavier will inbound. Pass underneath is another Xavier turnover. Their 7th of the first half. And Santa Clara is going to give it right back on a turnover. That'll be their 5th. Inbound to Anderson. Anderson will bring it up for the Musketeers, down by 10. Working it around. This is now back to Anderson. Anderson will pull up for a 3. That's too strong. Tip, no, out of bounds, Santa Clara ball. 3:59 to play in the first half. 10-point lead for the Broncos out of the West Coast Conference. 28-18, the lead at Xavier. Well, I tell you, Xavier, of course, out of the Big East, of course, known being the more aggressive team, but Santa Clara has been the more physical, tougher team here in the first half. They have out-rebounded this Xavier team by 16-10. Only shooting 10 of 23 from the floor for 43.5%. They are 2 for 5 from 3 at 40%. But Xavier just 7 of 19 in the first half, 37%. They're 0 for 4 from three-point range. And the turnovers starting to pile up on Xavier in the first half. They've got 7. Santa Clara has 5. So this is not a good stat here for Xavier. They've got the same amount of turnovers as field goals in this first half. As Xavier finds themselves in a 10-point hole. Sorry, it's a funny commercial on there. But Richard Pitino at the half. Going to have to regroup his team here. Christian Hammond continuing to lead the way for Santa Clara. He's got 9 points. Elijah Mahi has 7, 6 out of Bucky Oboye. Alan Graves with 4, and Jake Ensminger with 2. The rest of the scoring for Santa Clara. Xavier's led by Trey Carroll, 6 points, 4 apiece from Anthony Robinson and Roddy Anderson. Couple points apiece for Barova Kanan and Isaiah Walker. Do want to mention at the half, I will be pausing the live stream for about 12 minutes or so. We'll be back with you right before the start of the second half, run down some first half stats, and get ready for the second half. A second half, and where Xavier is going to have to definitely regroup. As they trail by 10 here, 28-18, 3:59 remaining in the first half. Santa Clara will inbound following this timeout when play resumes, which is right now. Broncos get it into Hammond. This is Napper bringing up the floor. And now that's going to be an offensive foul. Anytime you lean in with the elbow like that, as Mahi just did, that's going to pretty much be a offensive foul each and every time. May have been a little bit of an acting job there, but anytime you throw out that arm like that, more than likely you're going to be called for the offensive foul. 6 turnover for Santa Clara. Xavier with it. Here's the drive inside. Nice pass back out. Off the glass. No. Rebound Santa Clara. And an open 3 at the other end. That's off the rim. Rebound to Xavier. Getting around the left side. And the turnaround hook shot. That's no good. Offensive rebound for Xavier. Put on the floor. And Santa Clara out with it. Out on the perimeter is Mahi. Back outside it goes to Napper. And nice pass underneath and a foul. If Anderson didn't commit the foul there, that was going to be an easy 2 points for Thierry Darlin. So Anderson's going to make Darlin earn them from the free throw line. Anderson picks up his first foul. Both teams in the penalty. Thierry Darlin at the line for 2. First is good. Richard Pitino rolling the dice here and bringing it all right in with 2 fouls at the 2:45 mark of the first half. One more free throw coming for Darlin, and he hits them both. Santa Clara 8 for 9 from the free throw line in this first half. And Ensminger returns for Santa Clara in for Darlin. Broncos lead is a dozen with 2:40 to play in the first half. And a three-pointer at the top of the key, no good. Shooting woes continue in the first half for Xavier. Hammond, lost it momentarily, regroups his dribble. Sends it outside in the corner. Passed on the three-point shot, and inside for a layup for 2 goes Brenton Nepper. 32-18, Santa Clara by 14. As we near the 2-minute mark in the first half, this is all right with it for Xavier. Wright will put it up off the glass, no good, and it's going to go out of bounds to the Broncos. What stifling defense for Santa Clara in this first half, as they have held Xavier to just 7 of 23 shooting. Inbound it comes. Christian Hammond bringing it up the floor for Santa Clara. Hammond still with it. Hammond goes to his left over. Now Mahi with it. Outside to Ensminger. Working it around the perimeter. Now driving inside with the right hand. Will not drop. Offensive rebound for the Broncos and a three-pointer. That's too strong. And we have an over-the-back foul on the rebound. One and one coming for Xavier. That's the 8th team foul. That foul is going to be called on, oh boy. I'm going to try my best at this name. Francis Chukwudobilu. I don't think that's not probably even close. Free throw on end of the 1 and 1 is no good. So it's still a 14-point lead. Make it 16 with the layup for Christian Hammond. It's now a 10-0 run for Santa Clara. Underneath it goes, and the layup is good. That'll stop the 10-0 run for Santa Clara as Trey Carroll gets a layup underneath. And it makes it 34-20. We're under a minute first half. Santa Clara, hurry. They could have gone 2 for 1 here, but a little late for that. And a deep 3 up and good. That was almost at the beginning of the Xavier logo at midcourt. And that ball knocked out of bounds. A little out of control at the other end, but Xavier will keep it. All right, back in for Xavier. So Santa Clara will still have a chance to get the ball back. Xavier to inbound from under the basket, but now Santa Clara will use their use it or lose it first half timeout. It has been all Broncos in the first half in Cincinnati as they have a 17-point lead over Xavier at 37-20. Xavier team that's been held to 33% shooting in this first half and have been out-rebounded by 8 by this Santa Clara team. Looks like we're going to have a coach's challenge here. I thought it was a timeout, but it's actually a coach's challenge. When I do these live streams, I do, for obvious reasons, have the volume down on the TV. So I'm not quite sure what it is that's being challenged here. Officials are still over at the monitor. Matt Potter, Tony Chiazza, and Nathan Hall, the officiating crew tonight. They are still over looking at the monitor. Again, like I say, I've got the volume down on these live, so I'm not exactly sure what it is that is being challenged. Richard Padino scratching his head, seeing his team get pretty much dominated in this first half by the Santa Clara Broncos team. So the challenge is over, and Xavier is still going to inbound the ball under the basket. So whatever it was is over. It's about an 8.5-second difference. Shot clock, game clock. Xavier turns it over with 31 seconds to play in the first half. Messina Moore just lost the dribble out of bounds. Final shot of the half will belong to the Broncos. Hammond dribbling it out near the Xavier logo at midcourt. Down to 10 seconds. Hammond now on the drive, down to 5. Hammond gonna have to put something up here. Hammond spins. Hammond gets inside, puts it up, and gets it to go as the first half expires. Christian Hammond with 13 points, and Santa Clara takes a 19-point lead to the locker room over Xavier, 39-20. My goodness. Been that kind of a first half by Christian Hammond. At the half, Santa Clara 39, Xavier 20. And a absolute dominant first half for the Santa Clara Broncos out of the West Coast Conference. Again, folks, going to briefly pause this live stream here for about 12 minutes or so. I'll be back on right before the second half gets underway, run down the first half stats, which are pretty one-sided. Get you ready for the second half. Xavier's got to regroup somehow in the locker room as they trail by 19. Brief